This is an art attack. This is an art attack. This is Art Attack. Hello there, welcome once again to Art Attack, the big art show. Now, you like me, one of those terrible untidy people who can never find where you've put things. What we need is the complete filing system. And here it is. Come and have a look at this. Take one of these cardboard envelope files that you can get from any stationery shop, or in fact you could use an old one, and just carefully prise apart the glued edges down the side. And there's your file. Now, if you're just going to make one file, you only need one of these. But if you're going to make a complete filing system, then keep this one as a template to draw around onto some other pieces of paper. Now, you can use any type of paper for this. Newspaper, scrap paper, wallpaper. It doesn't have to be good paper. And then take each file and decide what the file's going to be. Now, in this case, it's going to be a hobby file. And my hobby is sport. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pictures that I've torn out of magazines, just coloured pictures there, nice and shiny, of different sports. And I've torn them out in interesting shapes. You don't have to tell me, you can cut them out. I'm just going to paste them onto the cardboard, onto the file itself, using PVA glue. Now this, again, it's just the ordinary white school glue you get in the squidgy bottles. Now you probably notice here, I'm also pasting over the pictures. Well, that's all part of this technique. In fact, I think this technique is called découpage, which is French for découpage, I think. And just keep building up your file, putting more pictures onto it, and just stick the pictures onto your file, front and back, both sides. And when you've completely covered it, and covered it in PVA glue, leave it to dry overnight, and it should look something like that. Look at that. And you can see why I've pasted the glue over the pictures, because you've got this nice shiny finish where the PVA glue has gone hard, and it's made it sort of really rugged, and it's protected it nicely there. So fold the file back into shape, and then you glue it down the original edges that were glued. Glue down there, glue down there. Leave that to dry, and when that's completely dry, you will have, there it is, a hobby file. And you can just slot magazine pictures or press cuttings of your favourite hobby inside your hobby file. Now, if it's going to be part of a complete file system, what you need to do is attach a coat hanger to the top flap. So I'm just threading it on up to that crease there. I'll just stick a bit of tape on there just to show you how it's done. You can make more of a neat job out of it. So that's the first file. And then if you thread some string through the bottom of the file, because these files all have holes at the bottom, just thread the string through, or you can use ribbon. I suppose you could tape it as well. And just tie it at the bottom. Again, I'll just do a quick knot to show you. Bring the next file in when you make that. In this case, it's a comic file. Look at that. Let's keep the old comics in. I'm just going to thread that up through the string, there, like that. And just tape that again down the crease, bend it over, and there you have the second file in your system. And just keep building up your complete file system, one after the other, and you can make up to 4 or 5 files, and when it's finished, you will have something that looks like that. Look at that. And we start up at the top here. There's the old comic file for me old comics. I like collecting old comics. Look at that. This is one of my favourite files, this is a food file for recipes, always thinking of my stomach. Down here, we've got letter file for pen letters. And down there, a pop file. And right down there, at the bottom, where it deserves to go, the homework file. And then just stick your file up on a hook in your bedroom, on the back of your door, or if you want to keep it as a secret filing system, keep it in your wardrobe. Hang it up, and no one gets to look at it. Try it yourself. The complete filing system.
Oh, that's very clever, is that? Hello, it's me, the head. Just cut out lots of pictures to do with what is in the file, then stick them on and coat it with PVA glue. Do you want to see mine? But there's nothing on it, I hear you cry. That's 'cause there's nothing in the file. That is very clever indeed. And to think he did all that just with straw. Now, I have made a right masterpiece out of straw. Do you want to see it? Oh, no!
Here's a question for you. What do you do with a ballpoint pen that's run out? Answer: invisible doodles. Take a piece of drawing paper and lay it on a soft surface, such as a newspaper or a magazine, and just start to sketch a very quick doodle onto your paper. And the technique here is just to press down as firmly as you can, creating an impression in the paper with your broken down ballpoint pen. And another little tip, try and put in as much detail as you possibly can. You'll see why in a minute. You'll see the effect that I'm looking for. And there it is. Well, it isn't really. Not until you take a wax crayon and scribble over your invisible doodle. And hey presto, your doodle is no longer invisible. Look at that. And if you haven't got a ballpoint pen that's broken down, you can do an invisible doodle with anything that's got a sharp point, such as a cocktail stick, or even the wrong end of a paintbrush. And it's just a case of taking an ordinary pencil sharpener and just sharpening the wrong end of the paintbrush. But be careful with this, because it can be quite sharp. There you are. Perfect to do an invisible doodle with. And there's lots of different types of invisible doodles that you can do. And just make them appear using a wax crayon What about some fancy writing? You see what I was saying about putting in the detail? The more detail that you put in with your pointed implement, then the more detail you get out, and you actually scribble the wax crayon over it. And you could do a comic strip sequence. If we get another wax crayon here, different colour, I'm going to scribble over that area. Again, just scribbling away. There's a little fly in the air there. And, hold on, what's that? Looking at the water at it. Well, let's see what happens in the next bit of the sequence. We've got something leaping out of the water. Yeah, it's a goldfish. Just scribbling over with my wax crayon to reveal the detail. And you could even do a night picture with a darker crayon. There it is. And if you do all of your doodles on one piece of paper, then they look good together as a piece of doodle art. Try it yourself. Invisible doodles.
Oh, that's a great use for an expired biro or a sharpened paintbrush. But be careful and don't press too hard, otherwise this happens. Sad, isn't it?
Hello, my name is Ross. I did a dotted picture of the horizon using felt tip pens. Hello, my name is Gavin. I made this picture by using dots.
My name is Elika. I drew a picture of fruit. I coloured it by making dots with straw and paint.
Good art attacks. You know, many famous artists made pictures using dots. If you're going to make a dot picture, it's a good idea to draw it in pencil first as a guide, and you can always rub it out later on. And then just make your picture using dots. Now, felt tip pens make dots. You just dot on the tip. And felt tip pens, the wrong way round, make dots if you dip them into paint first. Look at that. And you can also make dots with your fingertips if you dip them into paint as well. Bit messy, but great fun. Look at that. And the truth is, you can make dot pictures using anything that makes a dot. And let's face it, there's plenty of dotty things around here. Try it yourself, a dotty picture, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!